Sometimes I wonder if the biggest tragedy is not failure. It is spending 10 years climbing a ladder and realizing nobody ever asked whether it was leaning against the right wall. Most men do not wake up at 30 with a crisis. They wake up with a mortgage, a job, a relationship, a routine, and a quiet feeling they cannot explain. When you look back at the man you were at 25, what is the conversation he desperately needed to have with himself that he never did? Today, I'm meeting with Mr. Ahmed Bilal. He is our podcast guest. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much. You make it feel like you have been doing podcasts with other people as well. I've been the same guest for like last 5, 6 episodes.
All right, good.
Yeah,
Is it a proud thing or is it a
it is a very proud thing. You gave me the honor of being here with you.
right?
Yes.
So you're not thankful,
No, you should be thankful because if you don't give me this honor, it's not going to be really good for you. You know,
right?
that's the perks you have when you when you're very old friends.
Listen,
Now, see, when we are old friends, we think it's our right to be toxic, and I'll use my right to be toxic with you.
that's good. That's good. That's a very good one. I'm gonna use it in the podcast. Don't worry.
That's good.
Right. You know the topic today, what we are going to discuss.
Of course, you just
Right.
said it. Yeah,
How old are you, by the way?
I'm going to be 14 in a month. No, in less than a month actually. In 15 days.
40.
Yeah.
Are you actually 40?
Yes, I'm just going to be 40.
Are you making it up?
No. I was born in 1986.
1986.
Yeah.
So do the maths for me. So
86.
today we are sitting in 2026. So
Yes.
how did you become 40?
86, 96.
Right.
At 96, I was 10.
Yeah.
06, 16, and this is going to be 26. On
So-
1st July, I'm going to be 40.
Does it become 40?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are only 2 or 3 years younger than me. How can you say yeah? Or you have been telling people you are 31.
No. I've been telling them like I am somewhere around 25, 26. And of course, you are above 35. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why I choose a topic. Somewhere in between we can meet, 25 and 40.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
So that's why we choose the number 30.
It's all right.
Right?
No worries.
Okay.
No worries.
Because you are 40, I'm going to ask you a few questions. You've been through life.
Yes.
You've been through things, seasons, and many other, seasons of life. All right.
True.
You are old enough to give me the answers of these questions. Are you sure you can do that?
I'm sure I can try my
Okay.
best.
Here is the first question for you. Take me back to your mid-20s,
Okay.
when you were
Yeah.
25, 26, 27. What parts of your life were your decisions and what parts were momentum?
The tragedy with me in my life has been that I have always been very scared of momentum. I have been making decisions, sometimes very drastic ones. I've changed 3 professions by now, and I've done them at my extent to the fullest. But when they get momentum, it scares me. I would change the profession after I get like you might not know about my career as a lawyer, but I was doing really good as a lawyer. Then I quit it. But you definitely know about my career as an actor. I've been doing very fine in that, and then I quit it again. I am somehow very scared of momentum. I honestly feel like some people think I'm just making it up or it's just a joke. Actually, I'm scared of being settled. I just want to do random things. We are not here for centuries. I understand people want to be successful, and I totally agree with that. That's one notion, but I believe that we have to keep going. It's a very short life. There is no point of like sticking to one thing. You can just keep going ahead. Momentum. If you think small things can make momentum, that's fine. Momentum of the moments, that's what I believe in. Having one momentum for the whole life is what I disagree with.
So when actually did you realize there was a momentum and you need to actually avoid it or go through with it?
There have been quite some times in my life.
What was the exact pinpoint? If you can just, put some kind of pin on it and say, okay, that was the point.
Okay.
Was it, okay, just give me a number. Let's say that was around 26, 27. or was it between 2022? So where was it? Where does this actually happen?
It happened between uh, 25 and 30.
Why exactly that?
Because that's the time when an opportunity came to me and I took it. There was one opportunity which was bigger than that opportunity in terms of being settled in life and making more money, but I gave that up. And I'm actually talking about giving up my law practice for the acting career. That one. Like I had been doing my law practice in my initial years of law practice. I did like 500 cases before the high courts of Pakistan, and I was doing really good in terms of money. Because I was doing industrial and corporate law, I'd been working with the biggest companies in Pakistan. But the day I got a call for an acting role, I just gave it up. Like I thought, okay, it's going to be fun. Having fun is the most important thing in life. If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong.
So look, you're telling me between the age of 25 and 30s.
Yeah.
Okay. So there came a point when actually you have to make a decision that at this point, either I'm going to carry forward what you were doing in the past,
Yeah,
either you're going to start with a blank plate, right?
exactly.
So what was exactly that decision which you were forced to make?
There have been a lot of decisions which I've been forced to make, and it's not that somebody forced it on me. It's about the circumstances. It's about the fears, like the fears of being broke, the fear of being neglected by the society or being looked down upon, something
Yeah.
like that. All those fears have been there, but somehow, if you stick with those fears, it's not going to be really good for you. Again, as I said, it's most important in your life to have fun. If you are not having fun, you have to rethink. No matter how settled you are, how matter how loved you are, if you're not making something good out of it in terms of loving it, liking it, enjoying it, having fun, um, there is something terribly wrong with that.
Tell me the decision. What was actually a responsibility, but it sounded more like a fear. So because you were in the mid 20s, so you can give yourself some freedom of thoughts that okay, that was a responsibility, but now I should hide under the blanket of fear. That's how I can escape the responsibility, and that's it. So responsibility versus fear.
Yeah, it has been there. It's always been there, and it still happens. Being afraid is fine. Seriously, I'll tell you, being afraid is fine. Going under the blanket is fine. Making wrong decisions is fine, and I've been doing that. But the only thing is, you don't have to be scared of making bad decisions. And I think I've not been afraid of making bad decisions, though. I am scared of going under the blanket, which I have done in my life many times. But that never turns out to be good. See, there are three ways of living your life. You can be underconfident, confident, or
Yeah.
overconfident. The best way of life is to spend it confidently. But if you have only one option, either you can be underconfident or overconfident, then you have only to be overconfident. Because if you go underconfident, you don't even stand a chance. That's what I believe.
Right. How much of your life was consciously chosen by yourself? And actually, those were your decisions. I'm talking about before 30s.
Yeah, before 30s. Because the decisions that I was talking about, they were actually close to the times when I was just about 30. So most of those decisions before my 30s, they have been uh, governed by people, by the social engineering, as we call it. Like, of course, the society is socially engineering us how to respond, how to look at the things that responsibilities, or giving us responsibilities that actually are not responsibilities. I've been stuck in those for quite some times, and those decisions again, they have been all governed by outer forces. Sometimes by people, sometimes by emotions, mostly by fears. Again, especially the fear of being on road, being broke. That's been governing a lot of decisions, and I believe it does for everybody. There is a point that the fears are there, but the most important thing is how you cope up with the fears. You you have to learn to be okay with the fears and keep doing your thing. Like if there is a monster in the room and you have to go to the room, be scared of the monster, but go in the room. That's the thing.
So would you do that if you were exactly at the age of 25? If you go back to 25?
Now I would do that. Yes, now I would do that. For sure. I'll be fearless. I'll make like millions of mistakes. I made only tens of mistakes. That's very wrong. I'll make a million of them. And I'll repeat the same mistake again and again. I'm very much in contradiction of the view that you should not make the same mistake twice. You have to make it a million times. It's all right, just to be sure whether it's a mistake. You make a mistake once, believe me, you cannot say it was a mistake. Maybe you didn't do it right, or maybe the same thing works the other time. You have to do it again and again if you believe in it.
So imagine you are at the age of 26.
Okay.
Okay. So which you are trying to hardest to impress? Like you wanted to impress that person. That was your ultimate goal. And that's where you either wasted your time, either you gained some knowledge, freedom, money, whatever, etc.
Of course, I can't give the names, but
Right. Don't give it.
Yes.
Don't give it.
yeah,
If somebody watching that episode, please.
of course. Now I'm. Yeah, actually, you're doing this podcast after my marriage, so
Right.
it's going to be a tough one. But yes, there have been people I've tried to impress, and
Maybe in your professional life, like imagine you are 26 and you are working as a lawyer.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your exactly that person which you were trying your hardest to impress?
I was trying to impress, first of all, my clients,
Yeah.
then the judges, and then the fellow lawyers. It was,
But ultimately no one was
yeah,
impressed.
of course.
Right.
No, nobody's ever
And nobody
impressed
took
by.
you serious because you were young.
Yes, exactly. That's right. And that's the tragedy with people. They are always trying to impress themselves. But I think, who was the guy? I don't remember the guy's name. He was a very famous psychologist. He said, anything we do is only for two reasons, for two desires, either the desire of sex or either the desire of being important. There's no other third desire that you do it for. Then there is an exception. Sometimes, if you, for instance, make a scenario that you are helping somebody and nobody knows that it was you who helped him, it means you didn't do it for being important, right?
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. You want to be important for your own conscious. You want to think inside your own self that, yes, I'm important. You want to be important for your own self by telling yourself that how great you are. You're doing things that people don't even know you're doing. So, yes, the desire of being important is very, very much there. It's always there. You always want to impress people.
But don't you think this is right now your 40s, all right?
Yeah.
Of course, you won't try your hardest to impress anyone.
Yeah.
I know that.
Of course.
All right,
Yes.
you
No.
have given up, right?
Yeah.
So, but back in 26, why does exactly happen? There's no one to tell you like, this is the wrong path. This is the wrong thing to do, okay? But at the age of 40s, you have learned by yourself.
I believe there is a pattern of human life. Of course, there would be people who would understand in their 20s that you don't need to impress anybody. But this is how humans have always been. I remember whenever my mother or anybody would say something very nice to me, that this is that you should learn. And my father would say they won't be kid if they would learn this. Of course, they will take time. Of course, there is a course. You have to take that course. People who learn it in early ages, they are exceptions, and you cannot make rules out of exceptions. Of course.
Here's a question for you. When did you actually realize you were playing a character, not a person, not yourself? We're
It
talking
was-
before 30s.
Yeah, it was, I believe, around the age of 28, I believe, or 29, when I actually had this realization that it is just a character that I'm playing. An imposter. Someday I will be caught. So that realization was there. Yeah, feeling like an imposter, that's a very strange feeling. And at the first time when you realize it, this imposter syndrome hits you. And this is where I believe things get putting themselves into place. They start getting right. When I say start getting right, actually, if you measure your success in terms of money, that's going to be a totally different thing. But uh, as a parameter of building your character or gaining experience, that's totally another thing. Of course, you grow. You cannot just measure it with money. So that's how it has always been.
If nobody know your income, if nobody know you, if nobody know your status, who would you actually be back in your 20s?
I
Let's
would,
say you're a nobody,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're just a clean slate. Anyone can write something, or you can write something.
yeah.
Who would you actually be?
I would be a very simple guy doing a very basic job, not leaving my city. I would stay in my city. I would stay with my family and with my friends. I won't go to, like, I won't shift myself for living to any other city. Not no, but so country is out of question. I would stay in my city. That's what I'll do. Like you know, I believe it's really good to explore places, to go places, to meet people. But being at your roots, being in your city, being where you belong, it gives you something that fills your soul, that fills your heart. Like so we have come a very long way. We are from the same very small city.
Yeah.
We know people who are living there. They have almost zero income, but they are very happy. You know,
Did you ever ask them?
yes, I asked them, of course. And one other thing, the tragedy with us, you and me, is that when they tell us they are happy, we always imagine that they are just stupid. They are not happy. They
I
are
need to
stupid.
interrupt you here. You know, in the last episode, we were talking about the men have a shame.
Yeah,
They won't talk to each other. They won't share the honest thing.
exactly.
I think they are very good actors at this. The people living in our city or in the small villages or where we come from. I think they are very good actors. They have such a shame.
See, we are all
To
actors.
tell the truth.
Yeah, see, we are all actors. If the guys who are telling me that they're happy and they're just acting it, it means they are better actors than me. They have convinced me. So I'll take that chance of going back
Yeah.
because their acting has convinced me. It was a very powerful acting. And on the contrary, we are all actors. We are just playing some characters all the time. I think the only time when we are ourselves is when we are with our very close friends, those who are not judgmental, who have always been there, and it is tested by time. You can never replace your old friends. Old friends will always be those guys who have passed the test of time, and the best out of you comes when you're with them.
When you start your age around 20, 25, you're around this age, you're a very ambitious man. All right. You want to do this, you want to achieve that, you should be doing that.
Yeah.
You have all these thoughts. So tell me exactly, what age did you realize that your ambition were unhealthy is not good for you. You should give up and just be a regular person. I mean, just on the path. Let's say you're not destined to be there, and you should try very different things now.
This realization came upon me when I was around 34 years. I had this very realization. Um, I just had a very hard kind of realization that whatever I have been doing that was totally wrong. Now I have to just put an end to this. Uh, the problem with me has been that because I usually don't confront people, or I try to avoid conflict. The problem gets there when I'm done. I would be done on a very sudden moment. There would be no transition. Like once it was here, now it's not there. It's like that, which is very bad. You should have a very consistent kind of thought procedure, which I fail to have. If I go back to 20s, I'll again teach myself how to think in layers, how to think properly, because I believe I don't even think in layers. My thoughts are very scattered. There is no pattern in those thoughts. So I would teach myself, because I believe this can be taught, and this can be taught only in the early ages. Now, I am a gone case now. I'm 40. I am what I am now.
So, at the age of 34, you realize that something or few things are not working for you,
Yes.
right? What we can do that this should happen at age of 24, let's say, and a young man should be able to realize, look, this is not working for me. This is wrong ambition. I should give up, and I should be on this path. What
There's
a person
only
can do.
Yeah, there's only one thing we should understand at the age of 20. No matter what happens, nothing happens. Nothing is bigger than nothing is bigger than anything actually. We sometimes believe that there's a person, if that person is no more in our lives, our life is going to stop, and we stay in that state of mind for years. For me, it was around 8 years I had been in that state. And all of a sudden, when I realized, no, nothing is going to change, it's going to be perfectly all right. That was the day I took the decision. And that's what I'm saying. Because I don't think in layers, when I decide, so it's like a momentary decision, like then it's done in a moment. That's not very appreciable. That should have been different.
Before the age of 30s, okay,
Yeah.
can you describe the loneliest period of your life? Let's say you are between 20 and 30. Where does this happen?
It happens, in my opinion, it happens right after you are done with your education, and you start putting your foot in the practical life. That is the time when you start losing your friends who had always been there, losing your relatives. People start hating you because you somehow cannot be available all the time for them. That's the thing, I believe. This is, see, this is how it has always been. We can talk about it, but this is how it's going to be. If someone from their 20s are listening to our podcast, they're not going to learn from it. Yeah, this thing is going to be in their mind, and it will hit them only when they get to 40. So that's the problem. Humans learn only when they have to learn. Biological clock is a very bad thing. I've seen people who never wanted kids. But biological clock after 35 years, it start ticking in your mind. It says, no, you need kids. And then most of the people, they go for kids while they never wanted kids after the biological clock starts tickling.
You know, there's a good movie about this. Uh, the name of this movie is, I think, is Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
Okay, so the movie is all about a man just talks to himself. He goes to the from 20 to 22, and then goes all the way up to 30s, and he is talking about his struggles, ambitions, losses, achievements, and at the end he say, after 30s I am nothing, I was nothing, and at this time I feel like I am gonna be nothing. So if you want to watch a movie, and if you don't want to watch this podcast, you should go and watch that movie, right?
Definitely. I'll definitely watch it.
Right.
I love the idea.
The name of that movie is Good Will Hunting, right?
Okay.
So watch that movie. You will learn a few things from there, right? Here's a question for you. Good one.
Appreciate it.
What is something you achieved that felt surprisingly empty before 30s? You felt empty. You got it. But now, no feelings.
So, when I completed my law studies, I started doing law practice. For like 1.5 years, I was earning nothing, literally zero. Then I had an idea in my mind that once I start getting, say, $1,000 a month, I'm going to be a very happy man.
At the age of?
At the age of I was 23 at that time.
So at the age of 23, your dream was to make $1,000 per month.
Per month, yes.
That was your best dream.
That was my best dream.
Good.
Yes. Then what happened is when I started my own law firm after around 2 years of uh, practicing in somebody else's law firm. For first 2 months, I was earning like $200, I believe, at that time per month, around that. Then all of a sudden, in the third month, I made like somewhere around $20,000 a month, and it felt
From
like
$200 to you went to $20,000.
yeah,
right?
but
Okay.
it just happened. It
Okay.
just started happening,
Right.
and it felt nothing. Like nothing changed. Nothing changed at all. I mean, I didn't even feel happy about that.
Okay.
That was a very
Did you
surprising.
celebrate anything?
No, nothing. Like it was just a moment that just came in and it left. And this kept on going for quite a long time. And during this time of my law practice, as I was once telling you, that I never made as much money from any other career as I made in
Yeah. I know that. I know that.
in law practice.
I know that.
But all of a sudden, when
Honestly, let me give you some good shout out here. You were a good lawyer.
Thank you
right.
so much.
You were a good lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one day when I got a call for an acting role,
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm done with it." So I just went for it, and I was really happy for that. Like the first time when I saw myself on the cinema screen, that was a lifetime moment. That was larger than what I
Okay.
expected. Yes, that was it.
But you did not make that money.
No,
You didn't make $20,000, right?
From my first film, I made like
$1,000.
1,000. No, $500.
Right.
Yeah, though it was a very big budget movie, but of course I was a new actor and they were giving me a very good role, so they didn't really pay me much.
That movie was Thief and Trouble, right?
Yes,
Thief and Trouble. Yeah. You have done really well in that movie. I watched the movie.
and that was an amazing movie actually.
Yeah. That was a good. Everything was amazing. Yeah, story was good. Actors were good, and everyone liked that movie. Okay, as we are talking about your, the age of you were in 30s, right? So tell me exactly what was that relationship that changed your mind about the life perspective, and you stopped for a moment and you said, "Look, I'm not going to look at the relationship with the same insights as you were before, but now your direction is completely changed about the relationship, definition of relationship even."
I won't be able to say anything concrete about one relationship in this,
Yeah.
because I believe even my relationship with my own self changed after I turned 30. Then that one relationship could have been a mentor, I believe. My problem has been that I have had mentors in school, in university, but not after that. And one should always have a mentor, by the way. If you don't, what I believe is I don't have a mentor because Maybe I'm too arrogant to have a mentor to think that somebody is above me. Otherwise, having a mentor is a very, very big thing. And there are a lot of mentors, and a mentor can be anybody who you believe is better than you and who actually is better. That can be a mentor. I believe that I should have had one. I could have found one. I could have struggled for that, which could have been perfectly all right. But because the question was, what was the that relationship that made me look differently at the relationships was definitely the relationship with my own self. I started looking at myself, at my relationship with myself in a very different way after I turned 30. I started believing that I can say no. I can, what you can say, prioritize myself within the moral grounds. So that's the most important thing I believe that happened in terms of relationships.
As you were talking about the mentor, choosing a mentor, right? If you're a young man before the age of 25 or before the age of 30s, what exactly process would you follow to get a mentor? What criteria? Are there any tools? Is there a process? Or
See,
would you go to somebody who is doing really well in life and say, look, you want to be my mentor? Is this the thing to do?
there is no formula. There is no formula. You can find it very randomly. You could already be knowing that person, or you can hunt out one. And it's not even necessary that you know that guy physically. Like, for example, till my 20s, I've believed that two great poets, Sai Ludhianvi and Amjad Islam Amjad. I believe they are very good Urdu poets. I believed they had been my mentors till that time. Like any person who is even history now can be your mentor. A book can be your mentor, or even an incident can be your mentor. There are religions in the world where people just believe in one story, and that's the whole religion. That's the whole religion. There are such religions. Anybody can be a mentor. Anything can be a mentor. Any event, for that matter.
What is the definition of mentor? Like, who puts you on the, who looks at your flaws, who looks at your mistakes and puts you on the right path? Is this the definition of mentor? Or if you're a 25 years old young man, how, okay, let's say in your example, you are working in a law firm. Would you treat your, let's say, colleague or some senior person as your mentor?
I should. If I don't, of course, life will teach me, but life will teach me in a very hard way. Where life has to take me in its normal course at the age of 40, the mentor can help me get there by the age of 30. Why we don't get mentors is mostly because of our ego. Ego kills a lot of things. Why ego? Because when you're egoistic, you believe that you don't want anybody to guide you. When I say mentor, I don't mean God. Like, you don't have to consider him God. He is also a man with flaws, a book with flaws, an event with flaws. You have to take it seriously, I'll say. Like, if somebody is telling you something and you or calling him your mentor, you don't have to put him at a pedestal of God. That's what people usually say when they think we need a mentor. They feel like, oh, why would I get a mentor? That's a very esteemed position. We are scared of giving respect to people. That's also a problem that stops people from having a mentor. That's it. That's what I think.
Okay. Here is the just a little bit suggestion. Would you take it?
No. Next question.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take
Right.
it for sure.
Okay. If you are a young man before the age of 30s, okay, and you want to learn about how to carry yourself, how to handle situations through life, how to look at the relationships,
Yeah.
how to handle the finances, let's say, and how to make some progress in life, okay? If you are not good at picking up the mentor, or let's say one is not available, where in your surroundings, okay, you can read books.
Yes, of course.
right?
Yes.
Okay. And if you are before the age of 30s, what books would you read just to learn the life before the age of 30s?
Before the age of 30. Okay. Reading is something which makes a ready man. So I would read everything that comes in my hand. If you have a habit of reading, say a book every week, just read anything. Like you're saying, what books shall I read? It would be in case you have like habit of reading one book in 6 months. Then yes, we can. I would read the books of Norman Chomsky. I would read the books of Khalil Gibran. I would read the books of Yuval Noah Harari, and I'll definitely read all the books of Russell if I have to choose between books. But I would, if I would go back to 20s, I would give myself a habit of reading, and I'll read a book in 2 days, and I'll read anything. I'll even read the cooking books that come in my hand.
The age, the era, the surroundings where we come from, we have this great habit of reading. We were actually forced to read, right?
Yes,
And that was a good thing.
that was
Okay.
yes.
We have lost that great thing now. And since these devices and screens came into our hand, we lost that golden rules, right?
Exactly. That's right. You know, Vaseline. Vaseline is an international brand that makes petroleum jelly,
Yeah.
right? They made a very nice ad. There were mothers putting Vaseline on their kids' faces, and the kids were crying because,
Right.
of course, nobody wants Vaseline on
Yeah.
their face.
Yeah.
And it said some some traditions are rubbed in, not transferred. So reading was a habit that was rubbed into us. Like our parents were like, no matter what happens, you like it or not, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. It was rubbed in our faces. So of course, being having a civilized way of doing things is a very good thing. But there are some things which have to be there. Like if a parent has to tell their kids that these are the moral values, they have to be strict about that one. It can't be like, okay, like you don't have to do a certain things, and if you want to do, you can do it. So that would be a very fragile way of transferring your things.
Okay. Is it safe to say, okay, just on the humor side, like people after 5 to 10 years, they will say, once upon a time, there were books and people were actually reading those books. We are in that age.
We are.
Okay.
We definitely are.
Somewhere after 10 years or 15 years, our kids would be discussing this. Oh, that's a history.
Yeah.
Like those people were reading actually books.
See, not if not in 10, 20 years, in say in 50 years, but
Yeah.
it's going to happen for sure. There's a very great Indian poet of India, Gulzar. There is a line of him. He says, "This is the last century of love for books." Because reading would be there. Of course, there would be other mediums, but the smell of the books, the taste of the page when you have to turn the next page and you put your finger on your page, that taste is going to die.
And exactly, the patience you have when you're reading the page and is going to end.
Yeah.
And then you are excited to turn the page on to the next one. That's very different feelings.
That's
okay?
a very different. Yes.
We have forgot those, but yeah, those were there.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
That romance is going to die. Yes, of course. The people are going to stop writing with pens, with fountain pens. I remember in our childhood, we were not allowed to write with anything other than an ink pen, other than a fountain pen. I started using a ballpoint after I got into university. Before that, I was never allowed. And that sound of writing with an ink pen, with a fountain pen, when you're sitting in your quiet room on a quiet cold night, that sound. In Urdu, we call it Sarir Khama. That's a very beautiful word. Ghalib Sarir Khama Nawai Saroshe. So that sound is going to fade away.
Right. Here is the list. I'm going to give you some list. If you are in seeking some knowledge around this topic, if you are not turning, 40s, but you are turning 30s, here are some books which you can read, and which is Man's Search for Meaning. That's number one. Number two is Meditations. Number three is The Second Mountain. Number four is King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. Number five is The Courage to be Disliked.
They're nice. They're all very powerful names.
Right?
Yes, they are.
The Courage to be Disliked.
That's a very powerful name.
Okay. Here is a question for you. When you were in your 20s, who in your life was helping you become more yourself?
I believe the circumstances, which again turns out to be myself. I was myself doing it for me because I was having realizations every day. Especially when you are between 25 to 30, you get realizations every day. You start understanding life somehow. And by the age of 30, you start believing that you have now completely understood life, which is not true. You never do. The time when you think you have all the answers to life, the questions will change. So I believe it was the circumstances that were changing my personality.
So if you are, let's say, 25 or 27, let's change the number for you. Let's say you are 27,
27.
right?
Yes.
What standard did you lower that you wish you had not lowered that standards? You would not be compromising those standards for anything, for anyone.
I believe the integrity of work that was somehow compromised, and then uh, I compromised integrity of relationships, which I shouldn't have. Like, uh, I really regret not being connected to my friends. Like, I'm connected to most of them, but those who are not. When I was 27, I could have changed it. I could have been more connected to those people. You know, there's a guy, he said one thing and I totally believed it. He said, the more number of random people that you talk to, the more happy you are. Like saying hi to a random guy, saying hi to five random guys in a day, and listening to a guy saying hi back to you in the same way, that makes you a happier person. And it really works for me. I would meet more people if I was 27.
Okay, that's good. I never knew that about you. Right. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
After the age of 30s, what responsibility gave your life such meaning? And you started to feel like, I should be doing more now.
After 30s?
After 30.
After 30, yeah. That see,
What responsibility exactly? Was it more like family? Was it more like financial? Was it more like your career
it was,
or ambition?
I believe it was, it has to be kid. After you get kids, you are a totally different person. You start knowing about your limitations that you are much more capable of doing than you have already been knowing. But in my life, kids has been that turning point.
Great.
How long has the recording been? Okay.
Okay. Here is a question for you. Tell me about a moment where you felt genuinely aligned and you said, right now, you're on a good track. You should be happy to do this more and more.
The first time when I saw myself on the screen, that was the moment. I thought, okay, right, that's something I would love doing all my life. And then I kept doing that. The reason I gave it up, maybe for some time, or I don't know, for good now, because there were no films or say good films being made in Pakistan, because we have a whole problem with the dynamics of film industry in Pakistan. We don't have much screens. The business is not good, and of course, Pakistan for me is for as of now is the only platform where I can do films. Of nobody from India would let me go there. So that was the moment.
You are in Dubai. You have the international exposure.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
trying. I'm definitely trying it, but of course, here the competition is very big. I had made my place in Pakistan, but here I have to start from scratch, which I'm trying, of course.
Here's the final question for you.
Please.
What is something about becoming a man that you are still trying to understand? Why exactly that happening, that insightful thinking that you can share with us, that becoming a man, is it blessing or is it a curse?
Yeah, it is a blessing, of course. Being a human is a blessing. Being a man is a blessing. Being a woman is a blessing. Being alive is a blessing. They say, live another day. You have you have to live through it. They say if you are going through hell, just keep going. So no matter who you are, you're a human, you're a man or a woman, you just have to be grateful and you just have to keep going. You have to strive to be better. That's the only point. If you don't do that, there's no point. And have fun. Having fun is the thing that you must look forward to. Pursuit of Happiness is a film that I would suggest. I'm sure you would have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pursuit of Happiness is the thing.
Great. Very good. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. Hope to see you again on the
Thank you so
next episode.
Yeah.
And in the next topic, we will be discussing some more. You wanna discuss conventional, or you wanna discuss more irritational topics? What do you want?
Yeah, anything is fine for me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't give a. Okay, leave it.
Yeah. Right. Right. When we are young, we think life is going to hand us a moment where everything suddenly makes sense. But the older we get, the more we think becoming a man has very little to do with certainty. It is learning how to move forward while carrying uncertainty. It is taking responsibility before you feel prepared. It is accepting that eventually nobody is coming to rescue you, because one day you will wake up and realize your life was not built by the big decisions. It was built by the small conversations you kept refusing to have with yourself. The future does not punish you for what you don't know. It punishes you for what you already know and keep choosing to ignore.